voice down. It's the library.
Sorry,
You don't have to keep your voice that low.
Sorry, I was just excited to see you. I've been looking all over for you. I thought you would be on the roof as usual.
Normally I would be, but the school got a new supply of fiction. So I'm here sampling the wares.
You, have a big pile of books there. What did you pick?
Let's see, I have Earthlings by Sayaka Murata, Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, and Filthy Animals by Brandon Taylor to start. That should at least keep me going for a couple of weeks.
You're going to read those 3 books in a couple weeks?
Yes, probably. If I have time. So what brings you here?
Oh, nothing in particular. I guess I've just gotten used to reading ones with you a lot. So I just went up to the roof by default without really thinking about it. And then you weren't there. And I guess I was sort of on autopilot because I just started looking for you without really thinking about it. And now I'm here.
I see. You know we can't actually eat food in here though, right?
Oh, that's a problem. Wait, were you going to eat?
I was probably just going to eat my lunch quickly during the next break. I really wanted to read.
Oh, for goodness sake. You can't just not eat to make more time to read, Yuri.
I suppose you're right.
Of course I'm right. Can't you, check those out and come eat?
Yes, I suppose so. I just got very excited about reading. Give me a moment and I'll be ready to go.
I know you love to read, but did you really want to read so bad that you decided to put off eating? I can't imagine such a thing.
Well, for you it might be unthinkable. Snacks and lunch are very high on your priority list.
You know, now I can't remember if Club Minis is one of those mods that forgot Sayori's eating disorder associated with her depression.
Yes. They aren't that critical to my plans. Or something.
To all our plans. But I can't eat whenever. I have to make sure I proactively set aside time for reading, otherwise I never seem to get the time. Something else always happens to get in the way unless I'm very determined about my reading.
That makes sense. But the same thing is true about eating. If you just let eating fall by the wayside, you'll forget to do it.
Well, and it's not like your body reminds you or anything. Did you say something else there? No, you're fine.
Unlike books, you need food to live.
Sayori, I need books to live also.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
No, not really. Sayori voraciously finishes the last bites of a sandwich.
So, what's the big rush to read right now, anyway? I mean, I get that you absolutely have got to read books. But why not just eat food when it's time to eat food, and then read when you're at home?
My home is not always the best place to read. It can be loud, and I am often interrupted. But I do read at home normally. Today I'm not going to have time, though. There are things I have to do after club today.
But it's loud normally.
Loud and interruptious. It's not a tiny house, but it can still feel very small with 5 people in it. Especially when one is your very curious younger brother who views you as his own personal encyclopedia.
I hadn't thought of that. I bet you're super cool to have as an older sister. I can understand why he'd come to you with all his questions. He probably thinks you know everything about everything.
He does think that. Thus the frequent interruptions. It can be fun to explain things to him, and it's very flattering. But sometimes I wish he'd bother one of the adults in the house instead. Especially when I'm reading. After all, I have to get all that knowledge to relay to him somehow. You know, I've never thought of this, but what do you do in your spare time, Sayori?
Oh, well, I definitely remember to eat food.
Certainly. Although at the speed with which you eat, that can't take you very long.
No. Let's see. Well, I try to spend as much of my spare time as possible with MC.
Of course, but what else, like when he's not around?
When he's not around? Well, not much.
Not much.
Yeah, not much.
I feel somewhat compelled to press further.
Look, to be perfectly honest with you, when MC's not around and I don't have any homework or anything left to do, or when I can't bring myself to do homework or anything else, I mostly just sit in my chair and look at the walls, or play in bed and stare at the ceiling. Or sometimes I mix it up and stare at the walls in bed or at the ceiling from my chair.
That's not good. Maybe you should get a hobby. Something to take your mind off things when you need it to. Obviously, I like to read, but there's a ton of other things out there that you might be interested in.
The problem isn't the lack of things to do. If I thought about it, I could probably think of a ton of different ways to occupy my time. I could clean up my room a little, for starters. But like I said, it's not that I don't have anything else to do. It's that I can't do those other things. I don't have the energy for it most of the time. I'll be sitting on my chair or laying in my bed, and I'll think, oh, we could do such and such. But then actually getting up to do it is almost impossible. Like trying to get out of bed with 100-pound weights tied to all your arms and legs. It's not impossible. You can maybe pull yourself out if you really have to. But most of the time, it's just better not to. You have to conserve your energy after all. Does that make sense?
Nah, you need to be conserving it for something.
I suppose so. So sorry, I don't really know what to say about that. Instead, I will just offer you commiserations, reiterate that I'm always available if you need help, and politely offer to change the topic to something more cheerful. Or we can keep talking about it if it would help. I do not wish to cut off potentially helpful avenues of communication. But from your expression, I am overthinking and panicking, and we should just eat our lunch.
That's definitely an option. Or instead, you can eat your lunch, since I have already finished mine. What are you having today? Same thing?
Same thing.
Well, you know what would help me right now?
A bite of my lunch.
You know me so well.
The club room is empty. Hey everyone, I'm here? The club room remained empty. Man, am I really the first one here today? I'm never the first one here. Oh man, look at all this mess. I've never seen the club room this strewn with stuff. Oh well, gives me something to do before the others show up. Ugh, and the desks are grody. Those first period freshmen are really something else. There's got to be a cleaner around here somewhere, right?
Hi, MC.
Oh, hi, Masita.
Cleaning up for the club?
Yep.
Very conscientious of you. Do you need any help?
Actually, yeah. I'd like to wipe down the desks, but I don't have anything to do that with. Do you know where there might be any cleaner around?
I think the teacher whose homeroom this is usually keeps some in her desk. She'd probably be fine with it if you used it to clean her classroom. Oh, yep, here we go.
Thanks, Masita.
You want any help?
No, I'll be fine. Once I get into the actual cleaning, I build momentum, and then I finish quickly.
Oh, the same as me. Getting started is definitely the hard part.
Yup.
Hi, everyone! Oh, it's just you guys.
We're still waiting for everyone else.
And I'm cleaning.
I see that.
Do you want to help?
Not particularly.
That's okay, you don't have to. I just wanted to make sure you didn't feel left out.
Well, to be honest, I also really like just watching you do things.
Ah, young love. The hot burning part of the relationship is lasting a long time for you two. Usually it settles down a bit after a few months.
The hot burning part?
You don't have any experience at all with relationships outside of MC, do you?
Well, Kenzo, but it probably doesn't really count.
Not for this, no. Most of the time when two people first start in a relationship, they can't get enough of each other. They're always together, always overwhelmingly affectionate. Very, passionate. But then over time it cools down a bit, and if they stay together, they become more tender and comfortable rather than constantly passionate and addictive. But you and MC seem to be staying in the passionate and addictive stage for longer than usual.
I don't think I'll ever get over feeling the way about MC. Every time I just look at him, I feel...
Kinda drunk.
Well, I've never been drunk, so I'm not sure. But yeah, probably it's a similar feeling. A lot of the time he's all I think about.
I'm just glad you two are happy.
Yeah. Maybe the hot burning part is lasting longer because we already knew each other for so long. We already know what it's like to be just caring and comfortable together.
That's probably true. You already started from a place most couples end up. I guess a lot of people start as lovers and have to learn how to become real friends afterwards. But you two have to learn the other way around.
Yeah. Well, I'm really enjoying it.
I'm sure he is too.
The door opens.
And so we can see that this whole universe is a deconstruction of the myth of the hero.
So he's like an anti-hero.
Oh no, he's not an anti-hero. He's very much a regular hero on the hero's journey to the hilt of full hero.
Then I still don't get all this about how it's a deconstruction or whatever. If he's just a regular hero, then what's deconstructive about it?
Well, think about this. He's likable, right? You root for him.
Well, yeah, of course. He's nice, his dad is a good, just ruler and gets killed. He seems like a solid dude.
Yes, exactly. You're meant to sympathize with him immensely. To think, yes, this dude is quite solid, as you put it. But think about where he starts and where he ends up.
Well, he starts as the dude's son, training, learning how to be a good ruler, basically. And he ends up being basically the emperor. He's gotten his vengeance and fulfilled his destiny. Classic hero's journey stuff. I don't see what's weird about it.
Well, usually the hero's journey finishes with the hero back at home, having saved whatever he set out to save. But instead of just restoring the status quo, Paul is actually in charge of everything. He's become the most powerful political ruler of the setting. And not just that, but also some kind of god or messiah. With an army of fanatical, unquestioning followers, Paul basically have superpowers and act as his ruthless enforcers.
So you're saying he has become the bad guy?
Well, not necessarily the bad guy. After all, he doesn't do anything out and out evil by the end of Dune. But at the very least, he's become highly questionable. He's issuing grandiose orders and being threatening and egocentric. It's not hard to see him becoming evil. When you realize it's too late to do anything about it. He's become much, much too powerful, and he's far too young to really understand it. And all this with the fact that you're meant to root for him, and he hasn't really done anything wrong. That's why it's a hero deconstruction. I think it's partially about how dangerous it can be, really empathizing with someone and rooting for their cause. Because people can end up in strange places when they're viewed as heroes. Places from which it's easy for them to become villains. And I think that's what Paul's story is all about. It's a cautionary tale.
I think I understand you now. I guess I'd say you don't think it's a deconstruction so much as it is like a hyperconstruction or something. Paul does the hero's journey so hard that he becomes way too much of a hero, like dangerously heroic.
Something like that, yes.
Okay, it's enough of whatever you're talking about. We have club to get to today. I think everyone's ready to get started.
Yes, I think so. If MC is done with cleaning, that is.
Oh, MC cleaned up. What a gentleman.
Yeah, it was a big mess in here. It definitely needed straightening out. And a few of the desks needed freshman gunk wiped off of them.
Freshman gunk. I simultaneously love and hate that I know exactly what you mean.
Well, shall we get started? I'm sure you all wrote some lovely poems this week. The assignment was to write about some kind of intangible feeling. So let's begin. Really? No volunteers today? Well, then I'll volunteer MC to get his out of the way first.
Alright, but mine's not that good. Pride. It flares suddenly, like the sun beaming out from your heart. It doesn't have to do with you, though you may have played a part. It's more about them and what they have achieved, and how when you see them you cheer, you believe, you want them to succeed more than anything else. Though you may have helped them, it's they who've done well.
Sometimes I feel like your poems are a little too upfront with their premise. Maybe it's just me, but I always want to be a little thought-provoking and challenge the reader. Give them a puzzle to figure out. In this one, you've definitely given away the game with the title of the poem. The actual poem is really good and describes the feeling of pride very well. But I wonder if it could have had a different title.
I mean, yeah, it could be more obscure. But keep in mind it's Yuri saying that. She just thinks most poems aren't obscure or abstract enough. But yeah, maybe a different title would spice it up a little.
Couldn't be worse than the title of the poem about chicken.
I actually really liked the title of that one. Anyway, I liked the actual poem here, title aside. The soft rhyming is really nice. Really helps us feeling the rhythm of it.
Thanks!
So Yori, any feedback from C?
That's a hard one to give feedback on. Well, you have so much personal investment. But it makes me feel really happy.
Alright. I'll let you go next then.
Okay.
The deep breaths.
The deep breaths. Back in ancient times, all you had was a fire, and a cave was maybe a sphere, but you're lost away from your cave. You don't have any fire or ear spare. But you've sprained your ankle and it's pitch dark in the woods, and you can hear them coming for you, searching for you, the predators. Your heart beats fast. You know you can't scream, but you feel you have to run or scream or fight or something, or maybe crawl into a ball and wait to die. The only thing is, it's not ancient times, it's now. You're safe at home, and there aren't any predators.
Well, that certainly gets its point across. I take it this is about your depression.
Well, not exactly. I mean, it kind of is. But it's more about a particular part of it. Like, sometimes I get these awful, horrible panic attacks that I can't get away from. Especially when I'm alone at night. I used to think they happened because I did something wrong. But now I just know they're a part of my whole thing. But in a way that makes it a little scarier. Because they're not happening for any reason. Or because of anything I did. They're just there. And that kind of makes them alien, I guess. That's why they feel like predators, like something outside of me hunting me.
That must be horrifying.
I got used to it, believe it or not. I actually kind of prefer this. Because I used to blame myself when it would happen. And knowing it's something out of my control that just happens is a little comforting. But yeah, it's still not fun.
I like the framing device of making the reader think about prehistoric times. It really helps put them in that dark, panicky mindset. Plus, it helps with the dramatic effect when you pull the rug out from under them at the end. And reveal that it was just a normal, safe day at home all along.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
It's a different voice than usual for you. I mean, obviously you don't always write poems that have that happy surface level sound to them anymore. But you still do sometimes. But there's something else about this poem. It seems heavily influenced by the rest of us somehow.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was MC who said it's hard to read all this poetry and not let other people's voices creep into your poetry at all. But enough about me. Who's next?